Hello.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Lovely. So it's just the two of us. We're going to do this as a show and we will share the links. So it's just
Okay,
me doing the show today. So the moment you say ready, we begin.
all right, perfect.
Finish
Please,
your
Alka,
tea
can
or would you
you?
like to start?
I would like to share a PPT with you. Is it possible?
Yeah, why not? Please go ahead.
All right.
I'll just allow you to share screen.
Yes. Ela vai aqui.
1 minute.
Eu vou até ok, ela vai começar, tá? Depois que eu disser, deixa eu apertar aqui.
So I will just take a picture or two.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Alka, I can't share my.
Now you can.
All right. Thank you very
Wait,
much.
let me just start the record. So,
Okay.
mm,
Is it visible for you? We can start.
hello, hello, hello. Hola, bonjour. Hello, my dearest friend, all the way from Brazil, Dr. Beatriz Lucia Salvador, an academician, a scientist, a journal. I mean, you're a writer, you're a passionate person, you're very passionate about whatever you do. And you are also a master in business administration. And you are a lifelong learner because you also go to the university, not only for teaching, but also for learning. And I think that is a big salute to you. And not only that, you organize online conferences and you are a conference organizer. You do a lot of things and you write journals and you're a reviewer. My God, the list is endless. But yes, today we will be focusing on your role as an educator, as an educationist, and how has the journey been? So to begin with, thank you. That's amazingly put up, brilliant. And we can see your own group also. So academic and accounting advice, wonderful. And tell us about how your educational journey began and how has it been? And for how many years have you been in this field?
All right. Miss Alka, at first, I would like to thank you a lot for this invitation. I would like to thank Chilparco International and your new program, I can say Kryptonite. And I wish you success in this trajectory, in this journey. I wish I can share a lot of things with you today. Thanks for the invitation. I will start telling a little bit about my story, my journey inside the education. All right, I will share some PPTs in order to be more organized. Okay, so first I will start with help. Is the signal analog or digital? Okay, that was a big problem for me in the beginning of the pandemic times. So the beginning was very difficult, but my academic history became international news, as can you see here, okay? Then a teacher is the one, in my opinion, whose sacrifices never go unnoticed, and they are the reason for what we are. Today we are going to talk about one such teacher who calls themselves an unpublished being. Dr. Beatriz Lúcia Salvador Bisotto was born in the last century, in the last millennium, and continuously struggled with the 20th and 21st century dilemma. From teaching through the normal chalk and blackboard methods, and going through the vertical formation on 20th century to struggling with the 21st century horizontal hierarchy, which is challenged as and has tons of technology to tackle. Dr. Beatriz Lucia says being a teacher in the 21st century feels like a person imprisoned in the blackboard and chalk and hanging with a thread that is ready to break. Surprisingly, she's glad that the thread broke. Dr. Beatriz believes that COVID bought one thing that it has postponing for 20 years. And this is what the education system needed. And it broke the deeply rooted paradigms and streamlined everything. Though transferring from Blackboard to a computer screen took a huge hit. She, of course, lost the analog identity and switching to a new digital identity came with lots of information and dealing with stress and anxiety at the same time. But Dr. Beatriz didn't stop. Perseverance,
So you're
persistence.
unstoppable.
Yes,
Wonderful.
like you, Walker. But Dr. Beatriz didn't stop, and tenacity helped me overcome the challenges, which helped to meet important people at the national and international level, as Alka, for example. And what's the best part of everything? She got invited to attend an international academic conference in India, where they discussed the theme and strategies that have been adopted in Brazil. Dr. Beatriz accepted the invitation, even without speaking English. She used an interpreter to attend the conference, which further helped them,
Salute.
helped her to form a network contact with several international universities. So all this proves that the digital world has bound us together and will help reform each and every aspect of our life, the most important being education. Let's talk a little bit about the goals, the challenges encountered between the analog and the digital process, right? There were moments, Alka, I must confess, when I thought about giving up of my journey, about everything. But for me, giving up on some goals is a synonymous with the death of a part of me, especially when I realized that I can overcome that. So I didn't give up. I'm from those times where the teacher's desk had these untouchable materials. Only the teacher could touch them. The teacher would sharpen her pencil and show the main countries in the globe. I remember very well that what caught my attention was the issue of the oceans where the division existed. This, for me, was impossible to understand, this geographic division. The teacher was the person to whom nothing could be contested or be a superior being for me. And my childhood dream was to one day to be a teacher. I usually say that I am.
So you wanted to be a teacher throughout. It wasn't forced on you.
Yeah, no, I was so amazed with the teacher. I look at that and I just look at that and said, no, I want to be a teacher. It's a precious place, okay? So since I am from the last century in the past millennium, and today I am imbued with all possible technologies, so I need to share some passages, some things that were very important in my academic life. So this was a divisor help. Is the signal analogical or digital? This was very difficult for me. Within 48 hours, I was feeling this way. Help, what world I am in? How to teach classes now? How will I make my students understand what I say? How do I know if they are paying attention? How am I going to explain all the steps of a formula? Oh my God, I can't. I thought, right? So I thought it was digital, but I wasn't. As you can look in this picture, this is my room nowadays. It's still like that, full of books and everything and computers together. So it's a mixture of two worlds. This picture illustrates exactly how my life is. I only have had a computer, but I used everything as if were analog. So there were difficulties, right? Teach classes without the board and the chalk, say without walking, because I walk a lot in the classroom without talking with my hands, because I use it to do this a lot. I always walked around the classroom explaining the content. I speak with my mouth and my gestures. I couldn't keep my arms still stand. They form difficult, these were difficult moments to overcome those limitations of space in front of the computer screen. I think you understand me, right, Alka?
Absolutely. I mean, I can understand the situation. For a person who's always on the move, you have to sit in front of a screen and just teach and talk. And
Yeah,
it's about movement of your hands mostly. But
yes, it was very
the way you're
difficult.
narrating your tale. So let's move
I got,
forward.
Okay, let's talk about March 2020, the pandemic, the paradigm shift. I switched to a new digital identity. In 24 hours, I lost the analog identity, and there were moments of difficulties, information that sometimes seemed to be exponential because many things together. So I have many fears in front of a camera. And my worst fear was, will I be understood? Can I pass the content in this way? So persistence, perseverance, and tenacity was the strategy. And a question came
Absolutely.
for sure. Is this really what I want for my life? How to manage this stress, this anxiety for the new things? Challenges overcome, speak naturally, not incorporating characters. Imagine that all students were interacting to be like a flower fighting for survival on a tree trunk. As you can see this picture here, the flower is fighting, is struggling to grow in the middle of the tree, right? I feel like that with some limitations, but I needed to grow. And then more challenges came. The first invitation to be a speaker, to talk in a webinar, international. So the first webinar I spoke was about the strategies adopted in higher education in Brazil in the times of pandemic. I make the same lecture in May, in 28th May again, and on June 3rd, all the same team, the first three ones. And then I participated in an international congress jointly with FIA. 9 countries will participate with a very interesting theme that is spirituality in education. Then I had the Global Talks International and something about artificial intelligence. I'm just giving some examples of the first things I have done in this area. And the next one was my biggest challenge. I can show you here because I am proud of myself. I continue doing lectures and organize webinars. This was the lecture that most challenged me, that talks about domestic bonds and investing in DBS, these kind of things of economics. That is very difficult, but I overcame this challenge and it's very important for me. Let's talk about the legacy that everything lacks, happiness and gratitude, right? To be like stones that embellish available in nature, you need to use to build paths. Be like a table or a chess player. You need to be prepared for any moment. You have to face difficulties and challenges, all right? And there will be always someone that will say, how lucky you are, Beatriz. Yes, I think you have heard this in
Absolutely.
your life. You didn't study, you didn't do anything, and now you are in this place, right?
Right.
So some questions that I have always reflected for myself to be bad, to be good, is yes, I will do. Why? All right. And knowledge does not belong to us. I never thought it was impossible. Never purge, never lose to humility. We know that you are incapable. So many people told me that. Many people showed me that, even with the eyes, thinking that I was not capable to do something. But I pretended that I believed. And people who said, we will fight to you, we will discuss, we will argue to you. We don't let people to hit in our face with
Yeah.
painful words. We have to offer the
Sometimes
other
I think we
side.
need to thank people for actually, sort of encouraging us indirectly. It may not be in a very good way, but yes, encouraging us indirectly, and then we go ahead and prove to them that we can do it. So I can understand
For,
things.
yes,
Wonderful.
Alka, this is perfect because this kind of challenges will
Yeah.
make us grow faster than we would
Yeah.
grow before. I think this is very important. So if you don't have anything to offer to a bitter person, please offer a smile. I think it will break that person, right? This is something that we can offer. And I will let some question that is to reflect. How do you see a new way of ministering in classrooms? How is the administrative structure of the universities for this classroom model? Universities and professors are prepared for demands of the students by 2022. More of my legacy. What is the main objective of educational technology today and the major issues relating to it? Authoritative or discipline learning? What is the main focus of education in 2002? I have these questions here, online, offline, books or Kindle, must read book for the students, future plans as educator. I realize that leadership in classroom needs to follow the same examples that leaders use in the companies to be successful. The
Right.
presence of strong, non-local labor leaders is fundamental to the success of a company because developing them is always an easy task. Dynamics of leadership are an optimal way to advance along this path. Dynamic improvements for leadership training are also applied to students in all the school phases. The games are an ancient way to develop skills in a practical and fun way. They can stimulate vital characteristics of leadership, team spirit, analytical skills, and strategic ability. Therefore, in a school context, the games can be an effective tool. I would like to talk a little bit about this now, okay? After my journey of studies, I will talk about teaching leadership, okay? That is a
Perfect.
challenge to try to organize and meet our demands. So the same formula cannot be used for two different universities, in my opinion. Each topic is published and it is up to the teacher to identify which formula really works in their classrooms. Because we work with economic, social, cultural, religious, geographic, and interplanetary diversity, or that is perfectly applied to a country with a certainty, and it will not be to the same in another in function of the aforementioned diversities. There is no specific book for countries, teachers, or students, or that is impossible to make it absorb, or that is better to make each one make a new model. We need more actions to do than theory. We need to see in practice what really works and stop copying, right? The only certainty that we have is that students no longer want to return to the traditional classroom and also do not want fully online classrooms. Knowing that this distance modality, remote modality is much more economical, of course, both for universities, teachers, and students, a hybrid mode may possibly be a solution. Remote teaching is confirmed as a trend now. In Brazil, in the last decade, the number of enrollments in distant courses increased by 378.9%. Or that we can make and apply some practical games and practical key activities where the students can use or reason. Some examples of games that can be practiced, but the teacher needs to observe which one gives them the best result. I will show you just 3 examples of the dynamics that I think are very good in the classroom, okay? First, I have the dynamics of 2 30 seconds. Gather all the students and set the date of our dreams and celebrate the best moments of their lives to be discovered by people, professional conquests, adventures, or moments with family and friends. Give them a minute, then ask them to restrict their research and look for a better experience that they would like to share. Considering that hypothetically, they would have only 30 seconds left to leave. Let us think for 2 minutes and ask them to open their eyes when they finish. The last stage is to allow them to share the best 30 seconds of their lives with their colleagues. You need to ask them to be transparent, honest, and respectful to the place of speak of each one. This team building activity allows students to know each other better while allowing the others to understand that they can care about the others. This is an intimate discussion that will encourage
This is a
a
beautiful
true
activity. Beautiful activity
Yes,
for life skills and all. Wonderful.
great. Thank you. So let's go to the next one, that is the dynamics of all aboard. As you can see, we have a ship here. The participants are directed to build a boat using pieces of wood, paper, and other available material. Everyone must board the ship at once. As the pieces of the ship are removed, the team must strive to occupy in the increasingly smaller space as best as possible. This activity helps stimulate communication, problem solving, and critical thinking. Let's go to the minefield. The participants are invited to blindfold the eyes of a member of the team that has to cross an area full of obstacles without getting stuck in some way. Using only specific communication techniques such as the words left, right, front, back, the other participants must guide the bandaged person through the minefield. The activity can be carried out in external environment or in virtual room and is optimal for improving communication skills and building the trust between the students. This is great. Then we have the next one, aircraft disaster dynamics. This one is of the leadership dynamics that requires a bit of imagination. The participants have to pretend that they are in a plane that fell on a deserted island and choose a defined amount of items from the local workplace that they say would be useful for their survival. Each item must be classified according to the importance of it have, and the whole group must reach a consensus between these items. It is an activity that encourages creative problem solving and collaboration. There are other dynamics as well, but depending on the time, it is not possible to trace all of them here. So, Alka, this is was a little bit of my journey and a little bit of some tips that I use in my classrooms. I hope you have
Wonderful.
liked.
You are an amazing teacher, and I love those activities that you shared because I think that is what true learning is all about, and that is learning that is sustainable. We talk about learning which stays with us forever. This, through these activities, the learning that you have been giving to the students is learning that will stay forever. So that was a wonderful, wonderful part. So, do you have any future plans? I mean, how would you like to see education? In which area would you like to see education heading towards? Are we on the right track in 2022, or do we need to still figure out some things? In your view, what is it? And what would be that kryptonite message that you would like to give all educators and students and parents and everybody? That what is the real purpose of education in 2022?
For me, Alka, I will be very honest and sincere with you. For me, I think the education must be focused on the human side. I think we need to raise better people in this world. I think we need to teach students to how to manage sustainable goals, how to handle circular economy, how to be entrepreneurs, how to take care of the animals, how to be good people for the others who are coming and need to encounter a better world. And there is no one else who can do that, or humans. We just need to lead this generation to be better, okay? Stimulate always sustainability in everything to take care of our nature. This is the goal of the teachers, in my opinion. And thanks very much for inviting me, Alka. You
It
really
was lovely.
inspire.
And I want to tell you that this is the first Kryptonite show, which is exclusively for educators. And you, my dearest Dr. Beatriz, are the first one. And this is the first episode, and you have been absolutely wonderful. I mean, you're looking gorgeous, and the ideas that you shared with us are something that are usable. You know, it's not all in the air. These ideas that you have shared and the way you talked about your journey, you know, how you evolved as an educator, I think that will be highly inspiring for, the upcoming educators, for students when they listen to how their teachers have also, sort of kept themselves motivated, no matter the challenges, because challenges are will always be there. So this time we have the coronavirus, the COVID. Maybe in the coming years there will be other challenges, but if we continue learning the way you are, teaching, then I think there is no stopping all of us from being unstoppable, ubiquitous, and unique in our way. And this is what we need to show to our students. We have to show them the way, we have to lead, and we have to always guide them and mentor them so that, they are able to discriminate between what is good for them and what is not so good. So, absolutely fantastic. Maybe I could do a quick two questions. I'll just ask you quick rapid fire kinds. So, if
Okay.
choose between college education, teaching students in the college versus teaching students in the school, which one would you choose?
I would choose teaching people at school. I think with all the tools we have now, I would make a better change, a big change in education now. Okay.
Absolutely, Gauri. Wonderful. Okay, I'll ask you one more. Um, what do you feel is a must-read book for all educators? Every educator ought to have read that book. Every person ought to have read that book. I know there are many, but what book would you recommend? A kryptonite book recommendation.
Mm, There is a book here of a man who died some days ago that the title in Portuguese is Everything That You Need to Know Not to Be an Idiot. This is a perfect book. This is a Kryptonite book here, okay? So
Wonderful.
Olavo de Carvalho is the name of the author of this book, okay? He's a Brazilian.
Okay. Okay, so
But
that's wonderful. It was lovely having you all the way from Brazil to India. I think we had a lovely chat. Thank you so much. And you gave us the special honor. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, our first episode of Kryptonite Show, the success dynamics of educators. And we had with us on the show Dr. Beatriz Lucia Salvador Bisotto, all the way from Brazil. Thank you so much.
thanks, Alka.
See you soon.
Thank you. Always
Bye-bye.
a pleasure.
Bye.